Good afternoon, students. You are welcome to class this afternoon. As you all know, my name is Mrs. Jane Okulu. This week, we are going to be talking about tissues and supporting system. Understand the framework of the human body. And after the end of this class, I expected you to know the meaning of human skeleton. I expected you to know the importance of skeleton, give the functions of the skeleton, and also state the types of skeleton and suitable examples. Now, let's talk about the skeletal system. As you can see on your screen, the skeletal system is just a bony framework for the human body. It comprises of bones, connective tissues, including cartilages, tendons, and ligaments. Bones are living tissues with blood supply. They constantly change and remodel as humans grow. Now, without the skeleton, without the human skeleton, you can see that the body cannot function properly. So the human skeleton gives support, they give shape, they give rigidity to the body. They protect the delicate organs of the body, like the brain, like the liver, like the kidney, like the heart, and they give support to the soft tissues of the body. Now, what if have you ever wondered if human beings had no bones? What would have happened if you do not have a bone? Now, I want you to list at least three things you can and cannot do if you have no bones. All right? Just imagine if you do not have a bone, what are those things you can do and what are those things you cannot do? I'm going to ask you in our next class. Now, let's go into functions of the skeleton. The first function of the skeleton is that it gives support to the body. It gives shape and support to the body. The spine, for example, you can see the spine on your screen, the one with the red color. The spine, for example, helps human maintain an upright position. Without the spine, the human being cannot stand properly. Can you just imagine it? Human being without spine. They can't stand properly. So the spine there is acting as a support. It gives support to the human body so that human being can walk, they can stand, and they can stand erect and even sit. Another function of the body or of the skeleton is protection. As I've rightly said earlier during the divination, when I was divining skeleton, I told you that skeleton gives protection to the soft tissues of the body. For example, the skull protects our brain. The skull has something we call the cranium. The cranium is the one that houses the brain. And don't forget that the brain is a very delicate organ that needs to be protected at all costs. And it needs to be protected by something that is strong. And that is why the skull protects the brain. And also, the rib cage, they are protecting the heart. The heart also is a very delicate organ that needs to be protected. So the heart is being protected by the rib cage and the sternum. The sternum is just the breastbone. And also, we also have some parts of the body that the skeleton protects, like the kidney, like the liver. They are also delicate organs that needs to be protected at all costs. So the skeleton acts as protection against shock and against damage to all these soft tissues of the body. Another function of the skeleton is movement. The bones team up with joints and muscles to allow movement. For example, we have look at the diagram on the screen. You can see where you have the arm, the bones of the arm. You can see a joint from the humerus and the tibia, the humerus joining to the other bone. There's a joint there. Joint is just a point where two bones meet. So this bone, when they meet at a joint, they permit movement. You have another joint in the leg where the femur is meeting with the bones, with the tarsals and the metatarsals. There's another joint there. All right. So all these joints brings about movement. When they come together, the point at which they join together with the muscles, they bring about movement as a result of that. Then another function of the skeleton is that they help to produce blood cells. As you all know that red and white blood cells, they are produced in the bone marrow. And you know that the red blood cells, they just act to transport, they transport oxygen around the body. While the white blood cells, they help to defend the body against diseases. So these red blood cells and the white blood cells, they are produced in the bone marrow. They are just a soft, spongy tissue in the hollow of a person's body. So they help to produce these white blood cells and these red blood cells. In adults, most blood cells are produced in the spine, in the hips, in the ribs, and in the breastbone. But in children, it takes place in the bones like the femur, and as a result, this bone, this skeleton helps to produce the blood cells that is needed for the normal functioning of the body. Now, let's go into the types of skeleton we have. We have three major types of skeleton. The first one is the hydrostatic skeleton, we have the endoskeleton, and we also have the exoskeleton. The hydroskeleton, from the word hydro, you all know whenever you hear hydro, it means water, fluid. So hydrostatic skeleton is just a skeleton formed by a fluid compartment within the body called the coelom. The coelom is just a true body cavity. And this type of skeleton is found in soft-bodied animals, such as the sea anemone, such as the earthworm, the cnidaria, and other vertebrates. So instead of the organism having skeleton, having a bony skeleton, rather their skeleton is made up of fluid. So the fluid gives support, it gives shape, it gives rigidity to these soft-bodied animals. Then we also have the exoskeleton, from the word exo. Exo means outside. So exoskeleton is just a type of skeleton which is found outside the body of some animals. And this external skeleton consists of a hard encasement. And this hard encasement is called the chitin. This chitin is mostly found in arthropods. Arthropod, you should remember that arthropods are the largest phylum, and we have five or four classes there: Mariopoda, we have Insecta, we have Arachnida and the likes, crustaceans. So all these organisms that belong to the arthropoda group, they all have an exoskeleton that is made up of chitin. Example, we have the crabs, we have the millipedes, we have crayfish, we have insects and the likes. Then the last one is endoskeleton, from the word endo. Endo means inside. This type of skeleton which is found inside the body of an animal, and it consists of hard mineralized structures that are located within the soft tissue of the organisms. And this type of skeleton are mostly found in vertebrates. When I say vertebrates, I mean animals, organisms with backbone, like mammals and the likes. So this is just a recap. The recap, we have the human skeleton, and I told you that human skeleton, they are bony framework that gives support, they give shape, they give rigidity to the body. And we made mention of types of skeleton where we talk about the hydrostatic, where we talk about the endoskeleton and the exoskeleton. And we also made mention of the functions of the skeleton, acting as protection for the soft tissues, acting, bringing about movement as a result of two bones coming together at a joint to bring about movement. And we also talked about how they produce blood cells. Okay, we have a group work here. You are going to choose one type of skeleton amongst all that we have learned today. Then you will make a unique, you tell me the role of that human body, of that skeleton in the human body. You share your answer with your seatmates and prepare to discuss it in our next class. This is your assignment. You tell me what skeleton is. You state the types of skeleton you know, and give me four major functions of the human skeleton. Thank you for listening. Till we meet in our next class. Do have a very wonderful day. Bye.